Good morning, good afternoon, good evening YouTube, it's your Slime King, the Jimmy Man, and welcome to another video. This is another raw but edited take, this time about determining whether or not a unit is worth pulling for. With the Yelan banner and Xiao's rerun banner, we are yet faced again with decisions to pull. We see the same regurgitated videos about their worth and what makes a character pullable. For Yelan as a new character, it is understandable as people do not yet understand her worth. However, for Xiao and most future reruns of any character, it is simply an easy question to answer. In order to understand this, we must first understand the ever-changing contexts of a genshin player as they go about their own life cycles in this game. There are 4 types of players and their contexts that we must name in order to clearly delineate what value a character brings to an account. The first is the newbie, typically pre-AR45, that is either just starting out and have just barely started the Spiral Abyss. Then there is the Midranger, that is typically between AR 45 to 55 that has 30 to 36 star cleared the Abyss. The Endgamer, who is AR 55 and above that has 36 star the Abyss already. Lastly, there is the Casual. This term is not meant in the derogatory means, but simply a person that only cares for the characters and everything outside of the Spiral Abyss. Now that we have delineated each type of Genshin player, it's time to provide the context of each pull and their worth to each. The newbie typically has low investment on their units as they do not have access to reliable 5-star artifact farming, a meager amount of characters in their account, and presumably more primo gem income than any other player. As such, pull value matters more to these players than any other type. In these types of accounts, hyper carries become more valuable than any other unit in the game simply because they need to only invest in that character and that unit does majority of the damage for their teams. That's perfect for starting out and clearing content. So, characters in the vein of Ganyu and Xiao skyrocket in their value in these accounts, simply because they are not as reliant on Bennett and Sin Shou. One could say their overall value will diminish once they get more characters. However, the thing is, even if they get more characters, Xiao will still be useful, especially in AoE content, while Ganyu will always be Ganyu. Hyper carries carry value simply because if you lack the supports to supplement some of the other units in Genshin, they will bolster your team building in a tremendous way. The Midranger is somewhere in between and is somewhat of a gray line. These players require more context on what their accounts have, and it can vary drastically from one account to another. Hyper carries become less useful, as one could reasonably assume they can build characters to a reasonable degree with their built-up fragile resin. In that sense, it becomes a lot more complicated. And as such, these players should be the most wary of pull videos, as most videos do not explain the context of why a unit is worth it or not. Context matters. For example, an account without Sin Shou or Bennett should probably steer clear of pulling Tartaglia because they are incapable of running national teams anyway. A player that uses national and doesn't have Tartaglia should steer clear of pulling Hu Tao, as Sin Shou is locked in to national teams. And an account that has Hu Tao and plays national should consider pulling Yelan so that they can play both teams on both sides of the Abyss. The only real answer to whether or not a pull is worth it for these players is, what units do you have in your account, and what teams are you planning on running? And anyone that answers an absolute statement is talking out of their ass. These types of players are easy to recommend units to. You could go either of 2 ways, pull for meta or pull for who you like. Their accounts are saturated with many good characters and artifacts. To get to AR 55 and above, you have to be playing for a while, and that is presumed that you know a thing or two about the game on a basic level, especially if you can 36 star Abyss consistently already. And as such, you can simply choose to pull for whatever you want. You should have the investment needed to clear anything the game throws at you, and the worth of a pull is simply decided by either strength of a unit, attraction to a unit, or both. The last type of player, the Casual, is also easy. These players should simply pull for who they like. It doesn't matter what people say about their strength in the meta. Pull for who you like and who looks fun. Typically, these players don't care about the dumpster fires in the interwebs about unit strength, and to be honest, we could learn a little more from them in regards to this. These types of players are in an evolving spectrum. It is obvious it does not stay the same throughout the life cycle of playing Genshin Impact. One goes from a newbie to an endgamer in a matter of months, and somewhere along the way the endgamer or anything in between might convert to a casual. Nothing is set in stone, similar to how pull values change until you reach a certain point of investment in this game. And thus, you need to analyze what type of player you are and give yourself a little critical thought as to what you want to achieve in this game. I say this simply because Prima Gem costs are so high and some people can be misled easily. The value of a pull will always be on you, not me, not any other content creator out there. You are the captain of your own ship. It's best you start sailing into the vast oceans of what you find fun instead of merely joyriding in another person's ship. Tell me what you think down in the comments below, or better yet, come at me over at twitch.tv/thejimaman, where I stream Genshin almost every day. Join the Slime Kingdom Discord where I feed you slime content every day. This is our parting. Farewell.
물감이 애처롭고 친근한